I would like you to go and download the pre-class notes. It's available on our website, right? Live lessons tab. Okay, you have my section on English, right? And then you have the pre-class notes, right? So please go and download because we will be discussing some stuff from there. Okay, for those of you who do not know me, which by now I hope you do, right? I'm teacher Indra. Okay, welcome to my class once again. Okay, we will start with a couple of things. Let me just run through with you what I would like to go through today, okay? All okay, can you all see my slide switch? All okay, right? Awesome. I love the screen in front of me. It's like full of life, you know, all of you are like moving. If later you're like, I know you're like sleeping lah. Right, so try not to like nod your head too much, okay? Then it'll be very obvious that you're sleeping, okay? Anytime, if you guys want to talk to me, please just chat with me. Let me just find my chat, okay? Please just chat. I may not reply instantly, of course. I cannot multitask that way. I will admit I can't, okay? But just chat with me so that I am aware of what you're saying, and when I address the class, I may also address your questions at the same time. Can? All right, students. All right, come. Let's just go through. Wait, sorry, I need to move this away. Just give me a second to move this away, yeah? I do not want this on the main screen. Okay, now we shall start with, okay, as you all know, you are here, right? But we will also like to share with you that for our 88 tuition, especially for you primary sixes. Now, how many of you are primary sixes? Can I just get a show of hands over here? How many of you are primary sixes? Just give me a raise of hands. Just tell me in the chat, right? Wow, okay. Number of you, how do you all feel now? All very anxious? I can imagine. Okay, later I'll allow for some free conversation, right? Between yourself and of course myself, right? Because I want to hear what you think. But for now, because we've got 100 and about 120 students, right? I would like to have a little bit more respect and control within the class. So we'll just have a free reign later, but not now. Okay, so you can share me your thoughts later on. We'll allow for that. Okay, now just to highlight that we're running a promotion actually for our primary 6 package, right? As we all know, our 4 subjects, English, Math, Science, and Chinese, right, will be at 588, right, which will include a variety of things, right? You have your mock papers, you have your masterclass, right? You have your live lessons, which is next week. Mine for July will be in the first week, right? For the other subjects will be subsequent weeks, right? And of course, we have your AA practices for you to, you know, spend more time just sort of improving your skills at different sections. Okay, now something you may also want to focus on if, let's say, you have, you know, sufficient supplementary tuition or material that you have, right, is to actually consider our revision package, right, as well as a boot camp. You know, nearing your PSLE, you will definitely be more pressurized, right, to you know, practice more, attend more lessons, right? But this one is a concise version. Okay, we only have about 12 lessons for each subject, sorry, that may be quite useful for you. So if you think that this could be more applicable for you, feel free to sign up, okay, and join us. All right, now let me go on to the next slide. Oopsie. Okay, there's also a promotion now, yeah, during our period of our masterclass lessons. Okay, let me just highlight over here. You will only pay, especially if you're using POSB card 151, and if you use our masterclass promotion, please remember this, okay? It's very, very important. TATT, if you want to sign up and get a further discount, it's like what? 168, 136. Come on, you guys are the math whiz, right? Okay, all right, now let me move on to our lesson proper. Okay, so this is what we're going to be covering in lesson today. All of you okay so far? If you're okay, can you just give me a thumbs up? All alert still, haven't nodded off yet, right? Okay, awesome. Now, today, just a couple of things we're going to cover. Situational writing. I know many of you are concerned over your writing section, right? 55 marks in total, right? We have this 15, we have this 40. In total, 55. Out of a paper of 200, that's 1/4. That's a big percentage. Students, if you're going to move, sorry, can I just request, if you're going to move or you're going to talk to people, right, maybe you could just turn off your camera, because I did not enable your function for you to turn off, because I respect you that you want to show yourself, right? But if you're going to be in any compromising position, right, please just feel free to turn off your camera, just out of respect for other people. Okay, now besides the situational writing as well as the composition, we also have Compre Cloze, which I did not include in the pre-class notes, right? I want you to try on the spot, okay? Because remember, during the exam, do you all get material beforehand? No. right? That's why you are not able, you can prepare for it, but you can't prepare for the exact same piece. It doesn't make sense, right? Okay, so we'll try this out later, as well as the oral practice, which you already have. That if we have some time, I would like to get some of you to read out to me, and perhaps have a discussion over some of the pointers within the passage itself. Oh, sorry, within the practice itself. Okay, so far all good? Yes? Okay, excellent. Now we'll go on. We'll talk about situational writing. Okay, what is situational writing, students? We all know that you're given a task, you're given a visual to sort of help you answer and frame your answer for the task, right? And you're given maybe about 6 bullet points. Yes or no? Right? So with these 6 bullet points, how do we actually make sure we can score at least a 14 out of 15? Okay, situational writing is where we can score. Writing section, it is not entirely accurate to say that you cannot score for writing, right? Why is that so? Because you have 15 marks for situational writing. Come on, many of you will admit that it's easy peasy, right? You will say, do I even need to revise for situational writing? Many of you ask me that, right? So yes, okay, not that you do not have to revise, but there are some pointers that I'd like you to take note of, so that when you are delivering your situational writing, right, when you're writing a situational writing piece, you bear these things in mind. So you score and you bag as many points as you can. You don't want to lose it, right? At the end of the day, we are trying to gather as many marks as we can. We are not trying to, give it, okay, I can spare 2 marks here, I can spare 2 marks there, it doesn't work that way, right? Okay, students, so with that listed, we're just going to go through some tips with you how you can bear that in mind. Okay, of course, the first thing first is to take note of the purpose, right? What is the purpose you're writing? Is it a letter? Is it an email? Is it a report, right? Who is the audience? Who are you writing to? Is it to your friend? Is it your friend who's not feeling well? Is it to a teacher to report something, right? What is the tone? Is it going to be a formal, informal tone? These are things that you have to take note of, because it will actually indicate the kind of writing you do. The moment you get the format wrong, the whole organization, the whole points, the way you speak is going to be wrong. All okay so far? If you're okay, can you just give me a thumbs up? Sorry, students, just lower down your hands, because many of you have raised your hands. I'm not quite sure why, actually. Awesome, you're giving me a thumbs up. I like, the numbers are like increasing. So I like this very much. Yeah, awesome. Okay, thank you. Okay, now you can not put it down, but just lower it. Okay, now we move on. Okay, of course, read through the situational text, okay, and try to match the details as much as possible to what you're being asked for. Okay, now, for those of you who have not who has not actually had the opportunity to look at our question, okay, let me just flash out the question for you. Okay, this is the visual, right? You have a girl asking her teacher what his opinion about an issue that they are facing with their project, right? Mr. Wong, we have a problem. It is regarding the exhibition primary 6 pupils have to organize in conjunction with National Day. My group does not know where to begin. So the teacher says, okay, so what is it, Dorothy, right? As a group decided on which specific period in Singapore's history to focus on. Okay, then of course she moves on. Yes, we have, our group has decided to focus on Singapore's independence and separation from Malaysia. Then he says, right, you need to figure out how the conversation is flowing. Please, I hope that you're able to figure it out. Don't read all and then try to piece it together, okay? Try to understand the flow of the conversation. That's also very important, right? That's a great topic. It is definitely a pivotal milestone. What's the meaning of pivotal, students? Important or not important? You can chat with me, yeah? Okay, if you want to respond. Okay, someone has requested for me to go a bit slower, so I'll try to speak a bit slower. Very good. Someone says important. Thank you very much, Mo. She's one of my very, very, I think, I wouldn't say my biggest fans, but she's one of my very, she comes for all my live lessons. So that's great. Thank you so much, Mo. Yes, pivotal is important. Okay, for those of you who want to share me your thoughts, and of course now I cannot unmute you, right? Because there are too many of you. Please just chat with me. I'm reading the chat now, so I will just read out your responses. Okay, now it is definitely a pivotal, which means important, right? Milestone in our history. So where does the trouble lie, right? Then this student, Dorothy, says, we don't know where to get the necessary information from. And then her teacher says, right, Mr. Wong says, why don't you take a trip down to Singapore History Museum to consult with the curator? I'm sure they have a wealth of knowledge on the topic. Of course, she thanks the teacher after that, right? That's a great suggestion, Mr. Wong. Okay, students, so, okay, one thing to take note of, you do not need to copy anything down. We will upload the notes by Wednesday. Okay, any post-class notes will always be uploaded. Please feel free to download them after the class. Okay, so just focus on listening to me, and at different junctures of the lesson, when I'm asking you to brainstorm, to maybe write down some pointers, please do so, because then you will be able to tell whether or not on the spot you're on the right track. Okay, now this is the exercise you've been given. Okay, so imagine you are Dorothy. Write an email to a representative of the National Museum of Singapore to request for a consultation session. Right, so what is the purpose? You are supposed to answer this later. Yeah, I'll show you the table for you to just think about it. So in your email, include the following key information. Firstly, details about the project. And then you talk about the school you're from. Of course, you share the topic they're going to be presenting on, because if you need to ask them for help, you need to tell me the topic, right? Okay, or rather you need to tell the person the topic. Why the project is important to you, and of course, what you wish for the representative to do. Okay, now, can you just think about this, students? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute to just think about what is the purpose, who is the audience, and what is the tone that you're going to be writing this situational letter in. Okay, and I will check in with you. Please just type in your answers in the chat, okay? I'll check in with you, and actually you don't even need 1 minute, 30 seconds, 3:15, which is like now. Okay, 30 seconds, come on, just type in your answers. Let me wait for your responses, please. Okay, students, remember, audience is not formal. Okay, audience is who you're dealing with, who you're going to write to, who you're going to address, right? Audience are people. We all know that, audience are, I would hope, human beings, right? Okay, so in this case, the audience will actually be what? The representative, right? Okay, we're talking about representative of the National Museum of Singapore. What is the purpose? Anybody wants to tell me the purpose? Yes, you raise your hand. Please type. Thank you very much. Type in your responses, darling. Thank you. Very good. Your purpose is to ask for a request for a consultation session. Right? And of course, your tone. So, is this a friend? Would you consider her a friend? Hopefully, over time, she becomes a friend, so she gives you more information, right? But at the start, is she a friend? No, right? So because she's not a friend, you need to always maintain that distance, that formality. So it's formal. Okay, remember, tone is always formal, students. Okay, please bear that in mind. Thank you very much for those of you who have keyed in your answers. I really appreciate it. Okay, now, take a few seconds. 1 minute maybe. This one needs a bit more time, right? Okay, fill this up, or rather think about this. Match this to the visual that you have in front of you. Okay, we'll check in the answers shortly. Okay, take about 1 minute. You can just type in your answers, right? What are the details about the project, the school you're from, topic you will be presenting on, why it's important to you, and what you wish for the representative to do. Okay, can we take some time to just go through this? Feel free to just type your answers, yeah? Okay, students, the chat, right? Sorry, one of you asked me which one is my chat. I believe that you can only chat with me. I have actually indicated that you're only able to chat with me. So perhaps you can just chat, and I think I'm the only one who'll be able to receive your message. So don't worry. Okay. Not everybody will be able to see what you're writing. Okay, you're only directing your message to me. So don't worry, okay? Please tell me good things. Thank you very much. Okay, I see some of you really like trying your best to do it. Or you look very, some of you are just stoning. Yes, Abhijit. Okay, I will go through the answers now. No, the school is mentioned. Students, please take note. Let me just go back. Where is the school? Take note of the context of the question that has been given here. What is the context? Here. Okay, you might have missed this out. So be careful. These are some pointers you might want to take note of. It's usually given in the context. So if you miss it out, you might, lose that point, so to speak. Okay, so be careful. Okay, let me just go through the answers now. Okay, what is the purpose to request for a consultation? Right? Okay, audience will be, of course, the representative, right, of the National Museum. We've gone through this just now. I pointed it out to you, right? Okay, and the tone is formal, polite. Remember, you're supposed to sound very enthusiastic over your project, and you're very keen, of course. Okay, now, what are the pointers? Okay, I've sort of minimized this, right, so you're able to see it at the side as well. Okay, what are the details about the project, students, right? You realize that it is an exhibition required by primary 6 students, right? To actually organize in conjunction with National Day. I put this out from here. So if I were you during the exam, I'll just label this, let's say A, for example. Okay, sorry, let me just change my font color. I like purple. Okay, A, something like that. Okay, label it, right? It's your exam paper. Nobody's going to care how many scribbles you do on it, right? Okay, the school you're from, right? Of course, you know that this is B. The topic your group will be presenting on, right, will be, because your teacher asked, so this is actually C. Focus on Singapore's independence and separation from Malaysia. Okay, now D, why the project is important to you. Why? Because the teacher says it. It's a pivotal milestone in our history, right? Okay, and what you wish for the representative to do. Basically what? We know to share more information about Singapore's independence and separation from Malaysia, because it's something that they need to know and that they lack. So this is actually the point E, will be what we call an additional, not additional, but rather it's like a bonus. Many of you may not be able to get this inference from what the question actually requires. So take note that usually the last point may be a bit trickier, but all you need to do is just focus on what, let's say, the question gap is. In this case, we don't know where to get the necessary information from, for example. Okay, so that's something for you to actually take note of. Okay, students? All right, all okay so far? Give me a thumbs up, please, if you're okay. Awesome. I like this. Keep the thumbs up coming. Okay, come. Very good. Let me just go through a brief model answer. Okay, and then we can take a short break before we move on to our compositions. Okay, now we start off with, all of you remember the visual, right? Let me just briefly go through the sit writing, okay? Dear sir or madam, we don't know the, okay, sorry, let me just change. We don't know the gender. Dear sir or madam, the purpose of this email is to seek assistance with our school project on the history of Singapore. You go straight into the point. You share with them exactly what you need. Clear, right? Okay, now who we are. Identify yourself, students. Okay, please don't try not to talk about what you need and then who you are. It's a bit like, usually when you meet people, usually you'll be like, my name is so and so, right? In my case, my name is Teacher Indra. I'm here to teach you English, for example. The purpose of why I'm here, right? You don't introduce yourself at the back, right? We are a group of pupils from 88Tuition Primary School, right? In conjunction with National Day this year, different groups of primary 6 students in our school are tasked to organize an exhibition around a specific period in Singapore's history. So what the project is about. Okay, students, all okay so far, yeah? Now, our group has decided, remember, what's the third point will be to talk about the topic. Right? Our group has decided to choose Singapore's independence and separation from Malaysia as the focus of our exhibition. What you're going to focus on, right? Okay, and what you wish for the representative to do, right? In order to better illustrate this pivotal milestone in our exhibition, you're actually sort of using the words from the situational writing question, but you're also putting it in your own words, right? We would like to request a consultation session with a museum curator, right? Okay, this was not given, right? They said a representative, right? Curator, to learn more about the subject matter firsthand. Means that you would like to know more information, you would like them to help you. Okay, now, Why the project is important to us, right? Is because National Day is an important day for the nation. Hence, it would be great to glean important insights from your organization. I mean, to learn important insights, right, from your organization. I hope to hear a favorable reply from you soon. Okay, and then you can end off with yours sincerely, best regards, yours faithfully, right, Dorothy Ang. Okay, remember students, at the end of the day, as long as it's a formal letter, it should be something along the lines of yours sincerely, best regards, yours faithfully, right? It depends on which format your teacher teaches you, right? There's no hard and fast rule per se. It's not like you're going to write something during PSLE, it's going to be definitely wrong, no, right? But as long as it's formal, it carries yours, something, not a cheers or love, that's definitely wrong. Okay, but something a bit more formal would be more accurate. Okay, now, all okay so far, yeah? Give me just a thumbs up if you're okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, now just let me go through some tips and tricks since we're on the topic of situational writing, okay? How to get 1 or 2 more grades, right? Meaning to say, right? How do I move from, let's say now I keep getting a 12 out of 15, right? How do I get a 13 out of 15? Now this is quite 10 to 12, I would say is quite common score, so to speak, right? How do I get that 13? How do I move to a 14, right? Okay, pay attention to details, right? Remember just now the part where I mentioned, the last part on what students need, what the student actually needed from the consultation session, right? Some students may not be able to get it. That's inferential, right? So we really need to focus on what are the key gaps that the question are asking us for. Right, okay, so pay attention to the details. What are the requirements that you need to have? Okay, common tricks and tips during your exams, right? Time management, right? I'll go through this in greater detail in the boot camp, right? But just a heads up kind of thing, right? How you should allocate your time will be you have, if I believe, 70 minutes, right? For this entire paper, you have 1 hour, 10 minutes, right? So with this 1 hour, 10 minutes, you have your compo and you have your sit writing, right? So I always tell my students at most, okay, there's no room for bargaining over here, right? 25 minutes for sit writing and 45 minutes, 45, 25, teacher burn, yes, 70, yeah, okay, correct. Okay, 45, 25 is 70 minutes, right? So 45 minutes for your composition, 25 minutes for your sit writing. Okay, so during the 25 minutes, right, spend about maybe 3 to 5 minutes planning out what you're going to write. Remember just now I said label your A, B, C, D, yada, yada, right? With that being said, that's very important. It helps you structure and organize the flow of your situational writing. Remember, we need to back the 13 to 15 marks for your sit writing. Anything less than that, students, as much as we can, we try to keep this in our pocket. Okay, we want to score, we want to secure as many marks as we can, right? We don't just want to give them away. Okay, students? So with that being said, let's have a short 1 minute break. Okay, it's 3:26 now. Can we come back at 3:28? Okay, why? I want to try to compress as many sections as I can because later at the end, I want to share with you and perhaps if your parents are around, right, some tips that they can do to support you in terms of learning or preparing for a language. Okay, so quick break, water break, toilet break, wash your face, come back. Okay, 1 minute and we're going to go on with the next section, yeah? Okay, in the meantime, let me just address some questions. Yes, it is possible to get full marks for sit writing. Okay, requirement is not challenging at all. It is not difficult. You get your main 6 marks, right, for your task fulfillment and your language is 9, right? Keep your language simple. I always tell my students, keep your language simple because the more you write, the more there's a higher tendency for you to make mistakes. Keep it short, keep it succinct, right? Keep it simple, and then you'll be able to score for your language. Sorry, is it what only English, Mo? I didn't quite understand what you mean because you're asking me, is it only English? Students, if you have questions, just buzz me, okay, on the chat. I will try to address them like during the break now. All right? Okay, just to highlight, contact details for formal letter writing, not necessary. Okay, at your level, usually we have just the tool. Usually at this stage, it's usually an email, right? If it's an email, so it's just to, from, and then subject, right? Re, and then you address the email, the person straight away. You may not very often get instances of letter writing, in which case you're not actually required to have contact details, not at your level. For secondary school, yes, it's a must, but not for primary school. Today, yes, students, right? Only English is going to be taught today. Okay. Science will be on Wednesday, and then math will be on Friday. Okay, so Dr. Ali will teach you all on Wednesday, same time, 3 p.m. Teacher Bun will teach you all on Friday for math at 3 p.m. as well. So please feel free to sign up. Please sign up, in fact, right? Because we're all awesome like that. And you'll be able to enjoy us as well. Okay. Okay. Sorry, just to highlight, there was no surname provided in the visual, so we just came up with the surname yourself because the main name given was Dorothy, right? I just added the Ang. It can be Tan, it can be Chan, whatever, as long as the main name Dorothy is there. All right. How do we not miss content points, right? Students, please remember, just now I taught you, right? Look at the bullet points. Let me just go back to my slides. Yeah. Sorry if it gives you a headache if I were to scroll. Okay, remember, just take note there. Can you see that there are all these pointers? I would say bullet points for questions, right? Okay, and then you mark it out in the visual, exactly like what I did. Can you see like A, B, C, D, E, you sort of label and then you draw your attention to it so you don't lose, you don't lose track of what you're supposed to write. Okay, when our lesson end, not when we lesson end, students. Okay, when our lesson end, right? Today will be about 5. I may exceed slightly if I want to give you a little bit more tips and tricks, right? But I'll try to aim by 5, end by 5. Okay, I see many of you fidgeting already. Okay, stand up, stretch a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to start with our composition. Okay, come on. Okay, let me drink some water. All right, we'll move on to our composition. Can you please look at the composition section of our pre-class notes? Okay, dokie. Now, what is the question? Trouble with colors. Now, how many of you here, right, have a trouble with colors? Like you think that you are colorblind, or you, for some reason, you see, I have a friend, quite funny, you know, he sees green as brown. And I'm like, then what do you see a tree as? Green as brown, like confused character, literally, right? I think the only outstanding colors are black, white, and red. I love colors. That's why you see my slides are always colorful, wee, right? And it's cheerful because I always think that colors are light. I mean, they're basically meant to cheer people up, right? That's why I'm sorry if you don't happen to like colors. I noticed some of you say I dislike color. I'm sorry. I would like to think I'm a very colorful person, but if you don't like. Okay, now today's topic, trouble with colors. We have 3 different pictures over there. Okay, a boy painting. Okay, a teacher helping a student with possibly a tutorial session, art class, whatever, right? As well as an iPad, right? You can always make use of 1, 2, or 3 of the pictures to construct a story. Okay, but the things you must focus on, right? What type of trouble was it? Who faced the trouble and how did he overcome it? Or how did the character in general overcome it? Okay, students, yay! For the people who love colors, awesome. Okay, what I'm going to do is, okay, let me just give you this. I would like you to spend about 4 to 5 minutes. Now it's 3:31, right? 3:35. Can you just throw up? Okay, in the meantime, now if you've got some ideas for your composition, can you just throw them out so I can just discuss them with the class? Okay, yes, Raika, I can see you like waving your hand. But then I can't see you typing, darling. So could you please type instead of wave? Thank you very much. I can see all of you moving, like Zach, Shruti, Sarvan, Kyle. Rishi looks like he's got a headache. I'm sorry, am I moving too much? If you want me to call you out, show me your face. I would love to say hello. Yes, please put your ideas in point form, okay, students? Please don't write long story now. 4 minutes, there's no way. I can't do it. I don't think you can. Okay, you can't do a long story now. Okay, so just share with me your thoughts, right? And we'll just discuss them in 3 minutes now, okay? Okay, couple of things some of you have asked me which are quite interesting. If we write out of topic, will we fail? Okay, now, well, some of you are actually, let me just move this out of the, sorry, I think my Zoom is coming into the shared screen. 1 second. How do I move this? Okay, let me just highlight to you, right? Content, language, right? Out of 20, out of 20, right? We know that this is how we are going to be graded, right? Okay, if you fail, students, right? Okay, right, you will fail this section. Maybe you'll get like 9 out of 20. You might have bombastic language. All you need to pass your overall composition is at least an 11. Honestly, it's not difficult. So to say that you will write out of topic and fail, there's a low chance. Okay, not that it's not possible to happen. It is if your language is completely very callous and very messed up, basically, right? Okay, but if you maintain, let's say, let's give you the highest failing score for your content, even if you get 9. Okay, let's say you get a 15, you realize you still get a 24. That's a pass. Okay, in order to get a relatively good score, let's say a 35, right? Okay, you probably a 18, 17, 17, 18 variation. Okay, now, okay, sorry, one of you asked me to go to the picture. My picture is here, dear. It's on this side. It's on the right-hand side. Right, okay. Anybody else has any questions for me? How much does the composition weigh in the exam? Okay, that's a fair question, right? Okay, let me just erase it, okay? Oops. Okay, so composition is 40. Out of your overall paper, 200. Can we lower down to simplest form? Please practice what Teacher Bern has taught you, right? So it's what, 20%? So do you think it is a big part of your exam? It's a big part, right? But your paper 2 at the end of the day actually is probably a higher weightage. It's just that each section of the paper 2 may have lesser or fewer marks, right? But in this case, the composition is quite a big part on its own. 40 marks on its own, it's a big chunk of your overall score. Okay, students? Now, any other questions? If not, let me just have your ideas, please. Okay, some of you have suggested, right? Colors, emotional colors, physical pain colors. Okay, but let's just deal with physical colors because I think that's what the question actually means, to take it literally, right? Don't try to extrapolate and don't try to think beyond what the question is asking you for, because that's not going to benefit you. Yes or no? Okay, so with that being said, right, can I just have some of you just throw out some ideas for me, please? He has an art exam, worried because he's colorblind. Okay, very good. Okay, so the climax will be art exam. Colorblind. Okay, anybody else? Hates art lesson, joins a competition. Okay, competition. Yes, Raika, that was my chat. Okay, so the focus of it will be on the art competition. Okay, so perhaps how you could create a twist is if a student is not able to see different colors, right? Okay, and they participate in the art competition. So if that's the case, then how do they actually win it? Okay, someone actually said the theme could be about a person copying my art. Now, how is that possible, dear? Because if it's during an exam, usually you're separated, right, in terms of desk. So how do you think you can actually copy each other? Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on that. I will continue reading the chat so I can engage you, okay? What is the meaning of fond? Fond means to like something. When you say you are fond of somebody, you're fond of an animal, you're fond of puppies, right? You like pet puppies, okay? Something against colors, okay, fair enough. Feel guilty, okay, but remember, has something against colors is not trouble with colors. Okay, when you have trouble with colors, it means that you are unable to see or identify certain colors, right? When you're unable to identify certain colors, right, then that's going to be a problem in itself, so to speak, right? It's not that, you know, you have something against colors. Trouble with colors doesn't mean you don't like colors. It just means that you're struggling with it. In this case, trouble means you're struggling. Okay, so if the question was to ask you what type of trouble was it, you know exactly what it is. Okay, passes by making a black and white painting. Let's try to avoid black and white. Okay, let's try to stick with really struggling with colors. Okay, anybody else? Somebody sabo my paint. Well, you could phrase it that somebody sabotaged your painting project because you couldn't see colors and you initially had planned very nicely. For example, if you were to color a tree green and brown, someone labeled it wrongly and you colored it the other way around, that could be a problem, right? And that could result in something detrimental for your result, right? If you want to. Okay, it's got nothing to do with conjunction with National Day, right? You could also say someone has a very good suggestion, right? Overcome it by learning more about his colors. He could have gone to a doctor to fix his color blindness. That's a very good point. Good suggestion. Okay, so we look for a resolution. Okay, students, anybody else has any other things to say to me? If not, I will move on to give you my suggested answer, maybe. Wait, let me just move on. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you a sample guide. Okay. Now, we'll start off by reading the sample guide first, okay? I will show you one introduction and maybe you could think about how to continue the story, okay, based on what I had introduced to you, okay? It's a beautiful painting, my teacher said. A lovely little cottage painted against the backdrop of a countryside, surrounded by pastel-colored flowers, underneath milky white clouds and an azure blue sky. I started to tear while listening to my teacher's comments. It was the first time a painting of mine had ever been praised. Okay, so obviously this student felt something, right, at what the teacher actually said. Okay, so over here, I've actually put down some notes, okay, students. What this was actually about is a description of what I felt the character felt at my teacher's comments. Okay, so because of this, how do you think we can continue the story? Share with me. Yes, I know some of you like la-di-do-di-do already, in la-la land already. Okay, think. Okay, take 2-3 minutes. Plan out how you can move on from this story. Yes, Raika, it's not sabo, auntie. Okay, please, sabo is not a word, okay? Please, if you want to use the word sabo, it's sabotage, right? Okay, come on, let your minds wander. Yes, Elvin. Yes, Alvin Clement. I'm actually looking at you. Awesome. All of you okay? Okay, yes, please think about how you want to carry on the story. Okay, I want you to think about how you can carry on with this introduction. Okay, if I give you an introduction, how you can move on. Okay, think about it, type to me, right? I want some engagement. Maybe what the teacher is different from what he interpreted it. Yes, good. Okay, you can have flashback, you can have old memories. Awesome. Okay, flashback is a good way to start. Somebody else wrote. Okay, teacher thought someone else wrote their name, teacher not looking, teacher thought it was theirs. Okay, that's a bit complicated. All right, students try to keep the very simple storyline. Okay, for example, student feels touched that teacher praised him. It could be like what someone mentioned. It was a flashback. For him to achieve that best part of his art career, so to speak, or art education history, it could have taken him a while. It possibly took him a long journey to arrive at where he is now. Because of that, it's worth a celebration. So this could be a flashback with regards to that. Okay, wait, hang on. You work hard to improve art despite what? Sorry? Despite colorblind and got praised for a graded work. Okay, that's actually fair, right? But remember how you construct the story. It has to have the focus of trouble with colors, and your dramatic action, so to speak, right, has got to do with focusing on him struggling with colors. Okay, during recess, some students bullied as they were jealous. Sorry, sweetie, there's nothing to do with that unless he wins, right? Okay, so if you want to say that the trouble with colors resulted in him being bullied, your focus still needs to be on him struggling with colors. Okay, just remember that, yeah? Come back to your friend, parents, very good. Okay, got into a fight with his brother, got his eye poked and got checked by, and turns out he got color. Okay, your color blindness needs to be the focus of the story. So some of you wrote he got into a fight with his brother, got his eye poked, got checked up by a doctor, and turns out he got colorblind. Okay, not that your story is wrong. Okay, you did eventually turn colorblind. Not that you get colorblind, but you turn colorblind, right? So the focus of it should be describing how briefly, right? Like 1-2 paragraphs about the fight. you getting colorblind, and then your struggle from then on. What do you do? How do you cope? Did you manage to solve the problem? So the focus should always, at the end of the day, be the struggle. Okay, I cannot highlight to you the importance of focusing on the topic. Okay, students, because content is 20 marks, remember, you need to focus on the topic. The moment you venture out, the moment you talk about anything else, the score is not going to be pretty. Okay, told my friends from other class, rising action is the part that is leading you up to the exciting part, basically, right? Okay, flashback difficulty. Okay, fine. Because he had problems with colors. Okay, now I have read some of your storylines. Okay, one thing to note, students, please focus on color blindness. Okay, do not bring in mental problems. Okay, do not bring in yes, Raika, that's my chat. Please do not bring in any other medical issues except for color blindness, because the moment you bring that in, it will complicate your story. Okay, I'm sure you've heard of this this acronym, right? When I teach you KISS, keep it short and simple. Okay, keep your storylines very short, focus on the topic. Okay, because the moment you mention anything else, it might just be too complicated for you to handle during that 45 minutes. You have 45 minutes, students, okay? You don't have like 3 hours. If you have 3 hours, you can write a novel. Okay, but let's remember that we only have 45 minutes, okay? Now let me go on to the rising action, all right? Okay, I had always loved that. So when you are reflecting back at how you felt and what your teacher said, right? I had always loved that. I loved how with several deft strokes of the paintbrush or nimble movements of the pencil, right? You're describing what you do when you do art, right? One could conjure up a myriad of beautiful images and landscapes. I had mastered the basics of drawing very quickly, and all my friends and family members often complimented my expert drawing skills and creative imagination. So basically, this was how you, or rather how you treated art, basically, right? On the first day of school, I applied to join the art elective program in my school. I drew a cute picture of Snoopy. How many of you do not know what Snoopy? Please tell me you know what Snoopy. If not, please go and Google what Snoopy is. Okay, it's a cute little white dog. All right, now, the beagle in the popular comic strip Peanuts, right, for the entry assignment, and I was ecstatic, right, when I was selected to join the program, right? You realize over here that I've got a few different vocab words that I've used. Okay, I've also used a lot of show not tell, right? Okay, I want to create the description rather than just telling you what the story is going to be about. Okay, what these two short paragraphs are about. I describe my art standard and how an interest led to me actually choosing to study. Okay, during the first AEP lesson, we were tasked to draw and color a picture of an apple. A simple task. I started off with confidence, drawing the outline and shaping the contours, right? Basically, you drew the outline, you shape how the apple was, right? Then I took out my color pencil set. I stared for a few seconds at the array of colors. Okay, this is the lead up to the problem, right? At the array of colors in front of me. With my fingers trembling a little, I picked out a color pencil and started to fill in the colors of the apple, taking care to add a vibrant depth and intensity to the color tone through layering. Okay, if you don't know, layering is basically different color tones, right? You have red in the lightest form, the next shade, and then the following shade, and of course the darker shade, something along those lines, right? That's layering. Okay, so when you recall the first task, this is when I described, right? You can literally imagine what the author or what the writer is actually doing. Can then detail how careful you were. Right, okay? And then the exciting part comes, right? Is this a joke? My art teacher bellowed. The use of the word bellowed, you can see how angry, how frustrated the teacher was, right? As I stood in front of him, shocked, quivering in fear. The extreme emotion, you can see, right? Bellowed, ooh, and this guy, poor guy, standing in front of him, no, like maybe what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cm ahead in front of him, yells at him, how, right? Okay, he lifted my drawing and showed it to the entire class. My classmates stared at the drawing peculiarly as if in unison started to laugh violently and uncontrollably. Okay, so what happened, right? Not only the teacher was pissed off, his classmates were also laughing at him. Obviously, this is not going to be something pleasant, right? I don't know what's going in your head, but an apple should be red, not pink. So red and pink, same family, just different shades, right? Okay, as we all know, girls will know, right? To lipstick, red, pink, not very different, just different shades, right? Don't try to be funny with me again. Am I clear? My teacher admonished me sternly, right? Obviously scolded me, right? Okay, humiliated. I nodded my head. Hot tears flowing down my cheeks. I had not done it on purpose. I did not know I was coloring the apple pink. I was, after all, colorblind. So this is where the climax of the story is, put in so much effort and then your teacher whacks you literally, right? With that scolding. How do you feel? Okay, so my teacher's first bashing at me. Of course, you describe the embarrassment. And then, of course, over here, you also have how your classmates reacted, which is not only your teacher, your classmates, as I said, right? All over, it's like all surround sound, In this case, it's like all human sound, right? Teacher as well as classmates, okay? And then, of course, you revealed the main challenge you have. Okay, students, very quickly, we're going to finish this up, okay? I had problems differentiating colors of the same tone. Red, pink, same family, right? Yellow, orange, all appeared like red to me. Okay, I realized I had this problem when I was a child, which was the reason why I avoided coloring my drawings to save myself from embarrassment, right? So details of the challenge you face. Okay, so you not only tell me, but you show me, you describe to me, you literally paint it up to me. Okay, all of you clear on this? Can you just give me a thumbs up? All okay so far? Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. To save myself, especially in front of my relatives and friends. In fact, it was the main reason why I chose Snoopy as the subject of my art piece for the AEP application. He was black and white, simply put. Okay, I knew I could not go wrong with that, right? Whenever you enter something, right, you want to make sure you're safe as possible, right? Nobody wants to go in with as many mistakes as we have, right? Okay, now, falling action ready. That mortifying art lesson did not make me give up on my passion for art though. Instead, right, what did it do? It drove me to manage my problem in a more effective way. To deal with my inability to distinguish between colors, solution mode now, right? I tried to compare similar colors, red, pink, orange, together and remember the differences in their hue or intensity, because each color has a different intensity and obviously a different shade, a hue, right? So when you try to memorize that, somehow or other, you'll be able to color better, hopefully. Okay, I tried different colors together and showed my paintings to my parents, who guided me in picking out the correct color palettes for different paintings. Obviously, you need some support, right? Your own color blindness cannot guarantee 100%, especially when you know that you're colorblind, right? Eventually, at the end of year AEP examinations, I cleverly chose the right colors and aced it. So I do not want to give up. This is describing my pursuit for excellence. Okay, now when you conclude, okay, it's a beautiful painting. So obviously right at the start was the end product. Now it's bringing you back, right? It's a beautiful painting. My art teacher cheerily said, handing over my final graded piece, a painting to me. It was my very first A grade for the entire year. Can you imagine how much of hard work this student actually put in? As my eyes welled up with tears, I made a promise to myself never to be held back by my colorblindness in pursuing my dream to be an accomplished artist. So you can see, students, from this story, right? It's about the trouble with colors, the issues he faced. He couldn't differentiate different families of colors, different hues, right? How he persevered, who supported him, and how he managed to overcome it in the end. And also, we talk about what he wants to be in future, an accomplished artist. So this is what I mean by at least you have the entire mountain that is being dealt with, right? And you deal with the different situations, the different challenges that the author actually faces, right? So success story of how I overcame my challenge of becoming colorblind, or rather not particularly that he overcame it, but he tried to reduce the possibility that he faces this color blindness situation. Okay, students, all okay so far? Are you in awe or feel like, Okay, now let me just go through with you some tips and tricks first. Okay, before we take a 5-minute break. Okay, you can go grab a snack and then we'll continue with the next section. Okay, now some of you are already fidgeting already. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, we'll just have a short break soon. Okay, so how to get 1 or 2 grades more, right? Pay attention to the details of the question. Okay, what do you need to have? Let me just bring your attention. Okay, remember this is trouble with colors, right? Okay, remember some of you suggested mental illness, some of you suggested, going to see the doctor. That's a good thing, but you need to focus on the trouble that he had. In this essay that I showed you, there was a bit of trouble, right? The teacher scolded him, couldn't identify what he faced. What were the different kinds of troubles? It's not just physically being unable to identify the colors, right? It's also the emotional humiliation, emotional, mental, right? And then of course, physically he was unable to see. So all in all, this was the trouble he faced. Okay, students, right? Okay, remember to pay attention to the details of the question, okay? And of course, things that you need to focus on will be time management. I mentioned to you just now, 45 minutes, tops. Okay, as best as you can, try not to exceed, unless, of course, you shorten your situational writing time that you spend, right? Okay, so you leave about 25 minutes for essay writing, composition 45 minutes, and please, students, take about 5 minutes to plan. Okay, when I ask you to plan out for me, I literally mean like, okay, maybe flashback. Okay, talking about maybe exam. For example, art exam did well. Okay, then you can say struggle faced. Okay, then you can say maybe for example, discrimination teacher showed, for example. Okay, so these are just some these are some planning pointers that you might want to learn. 2-3 pointers for each section, right? You have your introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and then conclusion. Rough ideas so that when you're writing the story, you don't actually lose track of what you're writing. Okay, students, now with that being said, right, we take a quick 5-minute break. 4 o'clock now, it's 3:55, 4 p.m. We'll come back and then we will discuss the composition close. Okay, so can you please go drink some water? Well, I just share with you what the class is talking to me about. Okay, idea generation. Actually, for this, I would suggest reading more. Okay, or in this case, let me just use this example. Okay, focusing on keywords of the question, trouble. Okay, trouble means struggle. Think of synonyms. Colors, there isn't a synonym for colors, students. Okay, so you need to understand that colors are colors, right? Okay, but think of synonyms. Think of not only situations that you face, your friends face, your family members face, real life experiences, things that you have read, right? Which is why I always encourage my students, expose yourself, watch videos. Useful videos, right, are very useful, right? Like Channel News Asia, some YouTube channels are quite good, right? Not those cartoon stuff at this point, right? Not that I'm against it, but I feel that they don't give you quality content, right? So you can watch CNA videos, can watch the news, can read the newspapers, can read magazines, right? They will actually help you in terms of idea generation. Of course, model essay books, right? I won't say anything for composition a certain score. I would say, students, you should be aiming, right, to get at least a 32 onwards, right? Because 32 is, if you were to divide it out, it's actually 80 marks. You yourself know which AL this falls under, right? If I'm not wrong, it should be AL3, right? Okay, so if it's AL3, right, what this will actually give you a 3 for your PSLE, right? So let's aim to have at least a 32. Of course, the higher the better. Okay, which means your content at least a 16, your language at least a 16. Okay, so with that, sorry, yes, AL80 is actually AL2, I think. Someone checked with me, it's AL2. I can't remember the 80 to 84. I think 85 to 89, right? No, it's AL3. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah. All right, now any other questions? If not, I also need to rest my voice. I don't think I can talk for the next 1 hour if that's the case. Okay, we'll come back at 4 o'clock. All right. Okay, students, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Okay, now we will go on to our Compre Cloze. Okay, and I will just flash the Compre Cloze. I want you to take out a pencil, okay, a piece of paper, try out the Compre Cloze. Okay, because I want to see how you react to questions on the spot. Okay, now before I show you the Cloze, okay, let me just go through with you some tips and pointers. Yeah, read through the closed passage. Of course, we're going to do that, right? Look out for clues before, after the blanks. Okay, if you watch my lessons, you will know that I go through this every single lesson. Okay, the tips that you need to remember. Okay, and if there are no clues around the blanks, try reading before, after, the whole entire passage. Usually there are clues around. Okay, now let me flesh out the comprehension cloze, and I will give you 2 minutes for each slide, 2 minutes for each slide, right? Maybe 3 minutes, okay? And then I'll go through the answers later. All right. Students, I'm responding to your chats, yeah? So just please check on the chat, especially for some of you who are still talking to me about composition, right? We've already moved on, but I'll still address your chat as and when I have the time. So just keep talking to me, right? Okay, I will try as much as possible during these 3 minutes that I'm giving you to try the Cloze to not make any noise, because I would like you to concentrate, okay, and focus on getting the questions right, all right? Students, the class will be for another hour, yeah, thereabouts. So if some of you, need to hop off or anything, we are recording, right? But it would be best to stay, right? So if you've got any questions, you can just check with me, okay? Now, it's 3 minutes, okay? I'm going to go on to the next slide, yeah? We will read through the questions later. Okay, now, okay, for those of you who are asking me, right, the recordings will only be available to students who I believe have paid. Let me just check this out, right? Okay, but I believe for students who have paid, but they will definitely be uploaded into our portal. Okay, sorry, just to clarify, right? I just checked it out. Okay, our recordings will be made available to everyone. But they will only be available next week onwards, because we are running 3 master classes, right? So we want to sort of put everything up together right next week, after the last masterclass for this week, which will be on Friday. Okay, so just to clarify for some of you who have asked me about the recordings. Okay, now another 2 more minutes, yeah, for this slide. Please focus. I'm sorry to interrupt. Students, thank you very much, some of you, for offering your answers, right? What I may suggest to you, right? When you're answering, perhaps you could hold the shift and the enter. So your answer just goes into the next line without clicking the enter, because now if you click enter at every answer, right? I'm seeing pop, 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 then some other student talks to me, and then your answer, and then pop, pop, pop. So try to hit the shift so it appears as one chunk, right? Like 1 through 15, later there'll be 15 blanks, right? So that will be ideal, right? If you want me to keep scrolling up and down, you will see teacher Indra's eyes going up and down, up and down. And after that, I'm so tired. Okay, so please show some compassion. Thank you very much. Okay, for those of you who are still struggling, who still needs more time for the previous slide? Can I just get a show of hands? Okay, all right. Okay. I will go back to the previous slide. Okay, let me just extend the time to 5 minutes in that case, okay? Sorry, students who have moved on, 2 more minutes for this slide, yeah? Sorry about that. Thank you, Carol. You have arranged it so neatly. You literally went space, 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 space. Thank you. Thank you, Crescendo, as well. All right, I'm going on to the next slide, yeah? Okay, okay. Okay, just another quick 1 more minute for those of you who need for this one, okay? If you need more time, can you just ping me in the chat, please? Don't worry, as I mentioned, right? I will put all this up. If the live lesson recordings will be by next week, this could be up next week as well. Okay, let me just check up on this and get back to you, okay? No worries. If you need a little bit more time, it's okay. Okay. I will hold it until 4:10. Okay, 1 more minute, students. Okay, just focus. Take your time. Look out for the clues. Okay, for those of you who are busy copying, right? Don't need to copy. Okay, we will upload this latest next week, right? Okay, together with our recordings. Okay, so don't need to don't need to copy, right? Okay, we will upload this next week latest lah. All right, so please just check it out together with the recordings if you would like to watch us again. Okay, we've just got a couple 30 more seconds thereabouts before I'll switch the slide to the last one, yeah? Yes, for those of you who have sent me your answers, I have received yours, don't worry. Okay, whether or not I can scroll through everything to read the answers is a different story, but yes, I've received it for sure, okay? Okay, we'll go on to the next one, the next slide, okay? Last 5 minutes, I'll go through the answers at 4:15, okay? Okay, for those of you who have finished your questions, right? Please just check through the answers, right? Especially for the last 5 questions, right? And also, if you are all here, right, do share with your friends about us. Okay, you can always have a competition about the number of exercises and practices that you have, because you have a point system, right? Okay, and you can talk to your friends, right? You can compete with them about how many practices and how many points they've accumulated. Okay, they will also get a discount. Okay, the more you refer to them, right? Okay, the more you will also benefit. They will also benefit from getting a discount. Okay, you have the, if you have you each of you have your referral code. Okay, for those of you who have subscribed to us, right, you actually stand to win an iPad. Okay, so with that being said, just share with your friends. Okay, and you will be able to get an iPad as a result of that. No, it is not a scam. There is no such thing as a scam. If there's a scam, I wouldn't be teaching you. Right, Justin? Be careful of when you say things are scams, okay? Because it may be classified as false news, which is not approved of right now, right? It is not allowed, okay? So be careful whenever you make such comments, all right, students? Make sure you have got proof before you say such things, okay? Now, just one more minute, okay, before we go through the answers. It doesn't sound too good to be true, right? Education is meant to help all of you. Why does it sound too good to be true? Okay, for those of you who still need some time for the other questions, right? We will just go through the answers shortly. So just hang in there. Okay. Yes, there will be rewards for more points. That will be on soon. So yes, it's like getting a prize for doing well. Yes, Zach, your hand is up. I can't. You want to talk to me? You can chat with me. I won't unmute you, unfortunately. Yes, correct. There are two 88Ts. One will be my co-host, my colleague who is helping me out, right? So don't worry. I am Teacher Indra. I don't think I'm an imposter. I don't think anybody wants to be me also. Okay, now shall we go through the answers, students? Okay, we'll go through the answers, all right? Okay. All of you ready? Okay, dokie. Okay. Amanda was hopelessly lost. There were doors all around the hall, but she found them all to be, now the first question, how do we know this as locked, right? Firstly, this is the key phrase to tell you. That's why I put it in the same colors. You realize that my answers are in the same color as the clues, or from what I can draw the information to lead to the answer, right? Okay, doors and locked. Okay, not knowing what to do, she what up and down, right? How was she ever going to get out, right? Okay, she was obviously in a bit of a dilemma. She didn't quite know what she was facing, right? So in this case, because she didn't know what to do, she paced up and down, right? Not really looked up and down. I see some of you saying looked. Just because you're lost, you don't look up. I'll get a headache if I do that, right? Usually if you're like, right, some of you are shaking your head, right? But as in nodding your head, but no, I'll definitely get a headache as I am now. But yes, we pace up and down when we're thinking of solutions, basically. Okay, suddenly she came across an oddly shaped table, right? When you have a table, what? Solid glass, right? Made of solid glass, right? That's the clue, right? It's not just of solid glass, but you have to have a table made of solid glass. Okay, there was nothing on it, right? Basically, the table was clear. There was nothing on it, right? A tiny gold key. So because there was nothing, you're talking about one specific thing, right? Which is a tiny gold key, but or except, right? Two possible answers. Okay, the what thought that came to Amanda's mind, right? Usually when you think of things, it is usually the first or the immediate. I will give you both. Okay, the first or immediate thought that came to Amanda's mind was that it would unlock one of the doors, right? So basically, this is the clue that leads you to the answer. All right, students? Now, however, much to her dismay, the key did not what? Into any of the locks. So usually you put a key in, it fits, right? It did not fit into any of the locks. That's how I can tell the clue. Amanda scrutinized. She looked very carefully at the hall again, right? She scrutinized the hall again, and out the corner of her, usually you have the corner of what? Your eye, right? Even if you did not, this phrase was not able to tell you, noticed. Because of the word notice, notice is an action you do with your eye, right? She noticed something she did not notice before. There was a little, usually how do we know this, right? Door about 50 centimeters wide, because we're talking about door. So obviously it's either the width or the height, right? In this case, tall, because they mentioned 20 meters away, and they also talk about door, right? In measurement. Okay, 50 centimeters tall, 20 meters away from her. She placed the tiny golden key into the lock, right? She placed the key and what? Whenever you place a key, you turn it to either your right or left, right? Depending on which way you want to go, right? Either to unlock or lock, right? Turned it to the right. Okay, so far? Question 8B, 50 centimeters. 50 centimeters. No, I will not accept high. Twist it. No, you don't twist it, you turn it. When you twist, it's like in a continuous motion, right? So that's not acceptable. Not 2 as well. Okay, for question 8, sorry. All right, I'm just responding as I'm reading, okay? Actually, fine. White also I'll accept. Okay, any other answers, students? Not tall, there's no such word, darling, sorry. Okay, we'll move on. To her delight, she, when you, a small click, usually it's a tick or a click, whatever sound it is, usually you hear it, right? She heard, oops, sorry. She heard a small click, that's the clue for this. Okay, any other options, just chat with me, yeah? I will answer, okay? Amanda opened the door and found that it led to a small passage. Not much, because you're comparing this to a rat hole, right? Not much bigger than a rat hole, which is very small, right? A rat hole is actually very small. So a small passage which you're comparing with it, it's bigger. Not much. Fine, you can say larger. Not much more. No, no more. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Students, slow down. Haven't even gone to question 12 yet. You're asking me for question 12. Alamak. Okay, she what down on her knees. Usually when you on your knees, the action is kneel down, right? Past tense, she knelt down on her knees and looked through the opening. She sat down on it. How do you sit down on your knees? Cannot. Okay? Knelt down. Past tense is knelt. All right. In the distance, she saw the loveliest garden that she ever laid her eyes on. Oh, how I wished I was. Now, whenever she wishes is, she wants to squeeze through the passageway, right? So when you want to squeeze through the passageway, you have to be small, right? I was small so that I can squeeze through the opening. You don't squeeze something big and then like that, you wouldn't even call it squeeze, right? Okay, she thought there seemed to be no what? Either point or sense in waiting by the little door. There was no point in doing it. There was no sense in doing it, right? Frustrated, she went back to the hall, hoping she might find some other way out. Okay, there's some other way out. 13, no. Oh, I wish that was small. I wish it was tiny. Okay, fine. I'll accept tiny for this. Okay, she just hoped she could. Otherwise, she would be stuck there forever. Okay, students, any other questions? I was smaller, so that how I wish I was. So I was smaller. Fine. How I wish that was small. No, actually smaller I wouldn't accept. Then you have to say smaller in size. We need, no, we can't do a comparative there. No. Okay, these are the answers. Anything, you can just chat with me, okay, on the chat. Let me try to respond to you shortly. Okay, any questions, students, for this? All okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay, please. Okay, sorry, let me see. No. Not went down, please, no. No, Raika, no. Okay, now, 1 or 2 more grades, right? 1 or 2 more marks, right? Let's say, for example, now you're like, oh, why do I always get 9 out of 15? I want to get 11. Why can't I get 11? Right? Like how we did it just now, read through the passage, right? Focus on highlighting the clues. Many of you, if you're basically very anxious, right? During your exam, you will naturally be anxious, worried, you're not thinking straight. You tend to overlook things, overlook clues, right? How do we avoid that? Slow down. Okay, really try to calm your nerves down, right? Read one word at a time. Don't read one whole chunk. It's not going to work. Okay, you need to read one word at a time. Okay, focus on highlighting clues or key phrases that help you arrive at the answer. Okay, remember, whenever you're in doubt, just leave the question blank first. Okay, do the next question, then come back to it later. Because the more, the more you wait at a question, the lesser time you have. Then what's going to happen? You're going to end up panicking even more because you're going to, later sections have got more marks, right? Comprehension. After this will be what? Synthesis and then comprehension, right? So if you stop at this, then your synthesis and your comprehension will have less time. So it doesn't make sense. Just keep moving on and then come back, circle the question and then come back to it. Okay, do not waste time trying to figure out the answer. No, okay, just keep moving on. All right, students, for those of you who got more than 10 out of 15, how many of you got that? Can I just get a raise of hands? Awesome, good job. Okay, for those of us who did not, okay, never mind, we just keep trying. All right, now, okay, we take a quick 1 minute break, right? Need the break, right? Okay, and then we'll come back and do oral. Okay, 4:25, we come back, okay? Let's go. I know this, many of you are starting to fidget already, yeah? You're starting to fidget, go wash your face, grab a snack, right? This will be an interesting part. It'll be oral. So we're having a little bit more engagement. I know some of you may be more tired, right? But you may have the option of unmuting yourselves for the stimulus-based conversation, not for the reading part. Reading part, I'll get volunteers if you like. Okay, 12, bend her knees cannot. Sorry, tense is wrong. Okay, students, come, let's go back to our reading section. Okay, we'll go on with me just sharing with you some tips, okay, about what you need to bear in mind, right, when you read aloud. Okay, remember, first things first, right, vary your pitch and tone, right, no monotony. I've said this so many times, right, you're not reading to your reflection. Even if you read your reflection, I'm sure you want your reflection to be engaged and interested, right? You're not like, right? So try to maintain that engagement, that pitch and tone variation. Okay, don't imitate a foreign accent. Okay, please don't. Just be your natural self. Why do you want to be someone you're not? Right? Do not exaggerate your tone, right? Okay, pause at punctuation marks. Remember to breathe. Okay, you're not catching any MRT train. You're not catching any train for that matter. We can't even travel anywhere now, right? So remember to pause, okay, and read slowly. Express yourselves clearly. Okay, for those of you who have not had the opportunity to actually read through my passage, okay, I will give you a quick 30 seconds actually for each slide, just to briefly read through. Okay, and then we can start getting volunteers to read to me. Okay, please, everybody just put down your hands, right? Okay, because I am unable to actually see clearly, right? But just put down your hands. Okay, and later we will get you to volunteer. Okay, so we'll start with now. Right? I think I've got about 3 slides for my oral, right? So 3 minutes, 1 minute each slide. Yeah, let's go. Okay, students, are we doing okay? Now, how many of you like to volunteer to read? This is the last one, right? Okay, sorry. How many of you like to volunteer to read? Okay, please put down your hands. Yes, now I can literally see all your hands. Okay. Okay, let me count how many paragraphs I have, all right? Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just pick all the different colors, okay? 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll get 8 students to read for me, all right? As best as we can. Okay. Hang on over here now. All right. Okay, can you just talk to me? Okay, all of you can hear me now, right? All good, right? Can hear me now, right? Okay. I'm just gonna pick students, okay? Off the top, right? I have a Himasri. Okay, I have anybody else? Jerry. Okay, I have I'm going to assume those with their hands up are those who want to read, yeah? Please also remember to have a working mic. Yes, Raika. She's like dancing away, she's so happy. So yeah, let's get her to read, all right? So she can stop dancing. She's giving me a headache, this woman. Okay, now, hang on. Sorry, just help me by hands upping. That's not even a word, but putting your hands up. Okay, sorry, I'm struggling to have a look at it. Okay, okay, we'll get Mo. Okay, so students, for those of you who are new to my class, right, Mo and Raika have been attending my lessons for a while, right? And I want to see how much they've improved, which is why I'm actually selecting them to read. Okay, hang on. Can we get a Zia? A couple of new ones also, yeah. Just feel free to turn on your camera also when you're reading, okay? And I have, I think, 2 more, right? Okay, let me just go with 2 more, okay? Matthew Peters and Crescendo. Okay, so the rest of you maybe later, I will actually choose to I will unmute you so you can discuss with me your thoughts for the stimulus-based conversation. Okay, now are we ready? Are these students ready? Okay, let me just unmute you, yeah? Okay, hang on. Did I type wrong? Oops. Okay. All right. Himashri, are you ready, dear?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Come, let's go.
Okay. Over the holidays, I've picked up a new hobby, coloring. This may sound strange to some of you. After all, many of us probably did coloring in our childhood days, especially with color pencils. However, it is quite fascinating what a simple act of coloring can do for us.
Okay, great. Thank you, Hima. I'll call you Hima for short, okay? It's a bit easier that way, all right? Thank you so much for reading. I love how chirpy you sound. Okay. Students remember, okay, someone who's chirpy definitely beats someone who's like, oh, why am I here reading? Kind of thing. Okay. So be chirpy, okay. But do remember that whenever you are reading, right, try to maintain the context of the passage. In this case, it's a little bit more reflective, right? Okay. So we could perhaps slightly lower down on our chirpiness and sound a little bit more contemplative. So over the holidays, I've picked up a new hobby, coloring. This may sound strange to some of you. After all, many of us probably did coloring in our childhood days. So you realize that while I'm
Yeah.
sounding slightly positive, there's a bit more like I'm thinking back kind of like
Yeah.
tone, right? There's a bit more reflection along those lines, right? So that would help you in terms of pushing up your score to resonate with the context of the passage. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Pronunciation wise, all okay. Keep that up, okay? But just remember to bear that in mind.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you
Yeah.
very much, dear. Okay, now, next student we have Jerry, right? Let me just unmute you, okay? 1 second. Okay. Okay, Jerry, are we ready?
Over the holidays, I picked up a new hobby, coloring. This may sound strange to some of you. After all, many of us probably did coloring in our childhood days, especially with color pencils. However, it is quite fascinating what a simple act of coloring can do for us. The person who got me started on this hobby is my aunt. Once I saw her coloring a set of patterns, I was intrigued. She then told me about adult coloring.
Sorry, sweetie. Sorry. Yes. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
She's even in an adult coloring club where a group of adults get together and do coloring every week.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. Right. Okay. First thing first, right? I love how enthusiastic you are, right? But students, next time when we have to read, right, we just read the allocated paragraph, okay? Because we would like to, we have some time issues, right? So I would like to move on. Okay, thank you very much, Jerry, for actually reading both paragraphs out. But slow down. Okay, you were reading quite fast, right? We are under time constraint, yes, but not you, right? Okay, because when you're reading, try to slow down. Try to make sure that your examiner is able to understand you. Okay, when you read so fast, I'm like, oh wait, where are you? And then firstly, I was hoping that you would read this, right? Then after that, you were reading this, then I was like, where is he? Oh, he's here already. Whoa, that's fast. Okay, so how you know you're too fast is when maybe you cannot breathe. I noticed that you were like you struggle with your breath, right? Reading is an art. I would call it an art, right? It's not easy to be able to read and read well when people can understand you, when you can engage the person on the other end, right? I'm sure you know that when you're presenting to your classmates in front of class, many of you have the experience, right? You struggle because half the time they're all like, oh, I know, like, oh, okay, not paying attention already after like 15 minutes, right? Can you imagine? I've been here talking to you for 1 hour, 38 minutes. Ha, well done. But anyway, okay, some things for you to take note of is to slow down. Make sure that the person on the other end is actually able to engage you and listen to you, right? And understand where you come from, right? Okay, in this case, your pace, okay, one thing I also noticed, right, Jerry, please take note, yeah, dear. It's not intrigued, right? It's intrigued. Okay, this part here is silent. I will go through with you later a short slide on how to pronounce the words, okay? But basically, just take note of the word. Okay, thank you very much, dear. Next one, Raika. Hang on, yeah. I have to speed this up a little bit, okay? Raika.
Hi.
Hey, come, let's read, darling.
She told me I should try it and gave me one of her many adult coloring books. Although I agreed I wasn't serious in the beginning, I still thought that coloring was child's play.
Okay, very good, right? I like your pace, right? I like how you expanded on the contractions, right? I had still thought, right? Okay, remember students, whenever TH words, right? I've taught this before in my oral lessons, right? Please remember to pronounce the thought, the TH. Okay, now, thank you very much, Raika. Okay, Santosh. Oopsie, sorry, yeah, let me just give me a couple. Okay, come. Santosh?
Yes.
Please read to us.
Okay. The book my aunt passed me contained patterns known as what's
These are mandalas. I know you're going to
mandalas.
ask. Yes, mandalas. They
They
were?
were geometrical shapes and designs of objects and animals, and they were beautiful. As I started to filling out the colors in the
Intricate.
intricate designs in the book, I found that coloring helped me to feel relaxed. It did not matter how I colored or what colors I choose, but I don't like coloring.
Okay, thank you very much, Santosh. Now, a couple of things for us to take note of, okay? Your pace was good, right? But if let's say you do not know how to pronounce any words, students, please do not stop and look at your examiner and hope that your examiner helps you out. Okay, that is a definite no-no. Attempt to read out the word, attempt to pronounce it, even if it might be wrong, right? Okay, but go ahead and try to pronounce it still, okay? So for example, geometrical, right? I think this word we had some trouble. Mandalas, right? Intricate, right? Okay, we try to use phonetics, right? Intricate, right? But when we pronounce it intricate.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so as
Okay.
best as we can, we try to use the breakdown of the words to help us in pronouncing the main word itself. All right,
Okay.
students, thank you so much. Yeah, Santosh? Okay, Mo, are we ready? Let's go. Slow down, Mo. We are not catching any train, okay? Come, let's go.
It took my mind off the stress at school and allowed me to enjoy the moments. That moment of filling the pages with myriad colors. As I easily felt anxious, this activity was especially useful to help me calm down.
Okay, thank you. It's a huge improvement in your speed. Okay, in your pace of reading. Excellent. Okay, but something also just now that I didn't mention about Santosh, right, sweetheart, is that you need to pay attention to when you're reading, when you have the opportunity to practice, your 3 to 5 minutes preparation time, right? Try to make sure that you really read through the passage, right, and pick out the different areas that you may face challenges in. Like, sometimes you may mispronounce words, you're not sure of words, it may not sound smooth when you read, right? So as best as you can, when you are reading through it, right, okay, have that certainty, right, that when you are reading through in front of the examiner, you're going to be confident, and try not to stumble, make mistakes, because these are things we can avoid since we have preparation time, right? Okay, so this word is actually pronounced as myriad, right? Okay, I will go through the pronunciation later, okay, but please remember to slow down whenever it comes to challenging words, okay, so that at least you can take the time to actually pronounce them properly. Okay, now, 子牙. Oopsie. Sorry, let me just. Oops. Okay, 子牙, are we ready?
Hello.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hi.
Okay, so when we are ready, we can read.
I also feel that coloring brings back my happy childhood memories. It is a simple joy, something we don't always experience in our tween and teen years. It is also very satisfying to see the end product. It feels good to know how creative I have been with the colors and to see my artistic expression on paper.
Okay, now that's great. I like how you read it. Okay, pace was good, right? Pronunciation was spot on. Okay, keep it up. All right, that's very good actually. Okay, thank you very much, Zia. Okay, and now Matthew.
The best part is that there's no right or wrong ways of coloring. Even coloring out of the lines is all right.
Okay, that was very good pronunciation, but just slow down a little bit. Okay, I like your tone, your chirpiness, right? But just slow down a little bit, because it seemed, of course, it's a short 2 sentences, right? But that being said, it could be slowed down a little bit. Okay, thank you, Matthew. And Crescendo, is your name really Crescendo? Okay, Crescendo, is your name really Crescendo?
Nowadays, after school, I will always indulge in this coloring activity. In fact, it is something I look forward to every day. I hope some of you can try this activity, and we can form a coloring club in school. We can come together after school every day and relieve our stress by picking up this simple hobby.
Okay, thank you, dear. Now, this is actually a very good pace, right? I noticed that you tried to focus on the key, like the key and syllables, right? Which is great. Okay, don't try to force yourself reading, right? Try to sound more natural, right? So nowadays after school, I always indulge in this coloring activity, right? You realize that always is AL, right? So always pronounce the AL that way, right? People avoid the AL. They always say always, always. It always becomes always, but it's always, right? I always indulge in this coloring activity, right? The L's tend to be missing. So as much as we can, let's try to remember that we need to put in the L's, okay? In fact, it's something we look forward to every day. I hope some of you can try this activity and we can form a coloring club in school. We can come together after school every day and relieve our stress, right? This is extended, okay? By picking up this simple hobby. Okay, now let me just go through with you briefly some of the words, okay? Coloring, right? For some reason, some of the students I've thought before, right? They say coloring, or the emphasis is wrong, but because it's coloring, right? The emphasis should be on the color. So coloring, okay, you can just practice on your own. Okay, and let me just go, this is just going through the stress, okay? I will just put all this up, but let me just go through with you some words, right? Fascinating, right? It's got to be on the first part here, fascinating. Intrigued, right? Remember, this is silent. You do not say intrigued. Nope, okay? Beautiful, intricate, myriad, right? Okay, if you need any help with word pronunciations for that matter, right, go and download, or even when you go to Google, right, you can just Google the word meaning, and then there's an audio button that you can press to hear the pronunciation. And because Singapore follows British pronunciation, right, so I always use dictionaries like Merriam-Webster or even Oxford. I think they have it, right, that you can actually just press and hear how the words actually sound. So whenever you get any passages, students, right, you're not sure of the meaning, don't just listen to them, that, you know, don't just read through the meaning, but pay attention to how the word is being pronounced as well. Because if you do not know the meaning, there's a high chance you may not know how the word is being read, right? So just confirm it. There's always nothing wrong with that. Okay, students? Now, we go to your stimulus-based conversation, which I'm a little bit pressed, but it's okay, as I'm pressed for time, but it's okay, right? I'll just go through it with you. Okay, now we'll look at the visual, right? Okay, not your ordinary club, because we're talking about Greenwood Rainbow Club, right? Join the coloring club for tweens and teens, okay? So tweens are those of you who have not even, who've not reached teenage, not that you've even, but yeah, who've not reached teenagehood, right? We've started a new club for tweens and teens in the Greenwood neighborhood, and it's all about coloring. If you're an artistic person looking for a simple way to express yourself, or you love art but lack the skill, or you simply want to meet new people while doing a relaxing activity, sign up as a member now. Okay, we supply the materials and coloring books. Just drop by and color your stress away. Okay, now, what are we going to face for this, right? Okay, whenever we are doing stimulus-based conversation, remember, students, we have opinion, reason, example, and then we repeat our overall stand. Oreo. Remember, I've gone through this countless times, right? Okay. So the questions, and this is the picture, right? Oopsie. I can't. Okay. Some things you can take note of, right? Basically, when they're asking you to expand detailed question, right, you can actually use who, what, when, where, why, how. How you expand in your composition, same thing applies for your oral. Build on topics, what you like, what you dislike about a topic, what you foresee yourself in the future, talk about your past, right, or even in the present, okay? Compare and contrast. Okay, explore alternative viewpoints, right? What other viewpoints you can have, okay? And of course, support with evidence. Give your honest response. Okay, now, couple of seconds to just read through the stimulus, right? Okay. How would you feel about joining this club or activity? Okay. What is your favorite leisure activity? What do you like most about it? And how important is it to have a hobby? Share your thoughts. Okay, I have actually allowed you to unmute yourself, so you can just free rein your answers. So how do you feel about joining this activity? Some of you?
Teacher, can I say?
Sure.
Okay. I feel strongly about joining this club or activity, as I have always been interested in coloring since I was young.
Okay, thank you, dear. Sorry, before you speak, could you just identify yourself, please? Your name is?
Chemistry.
Okay. Oh, Chemistry, is it?
Yeah.
Were you the one who read to me just now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you will feel strongly for joining. Is it you want to join?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay. Anybody?
Teacher, can you hear me?
I can hear all of you, but I will decide.
Hello?
Yes. Hang on. But I will decide that I do not want to hear because I am getting too many students talking. Come
I
on.
would not want to join the club.
Why would you not want to join the club?
Because children look like they are not having fun. Look like they are forced to do it.
All right. Okay, that's it. Sorry. It was a bit chaotic. Aww. Okay, come, let me go through my answers with you and then go through tips, okay? Sorry, class. Too many. I cannot free rein. All right. Now, how do you feel about joining this club activity, right? I feel excited. Someone told me chemistry, right? It said you feel excited. Why? Sorry, let me write. I want to write. Okay, I feel excited. Then you give me a reason, right? Why? I've always been interested in art, felt that I never had the talent or aptitude, nor, ability to do it, right? And this would be a good chance for me to try this activity out. I remember that when I was much younger, of about 5 to 6 years of age, I participated in a coloring competition. I thoroughly enjoyed it and came in second runner-up. However, I never pursued it any further. If not, I might be quite good at art now, right? Okay, I didn't pursue at art. If not, my talent would probably have not been wasted, right? I would love for another opportunity to participate in this activity. Hope that I will be able to in future again. So your answers don't need to be very long, students. It just needs to be to the point. Okay, it needs to have different segments, right? Of course, your teachers may all have different acronyms, right? Mine is Oreo. Who doesn't like Oreo? Okay, but in that case, try to structure your answer accordingly to sort of make sure that you answer or you target all the different segments of what your response is required. Okay, what is your favorite leisure activity? What do you like most about it, right? I love to cycle. This is your opinion. Okay, and I have always been a sporty person and cycling helps me to exercise. So you're giving a reason. Okay, and enjoy the beautiful scenery that is around Singapore, which is how I got this. But anyway, whenever I get the chance to do it. Okay, then you give me an example, you share with me a little bit more about who you go cycling with, when you do it, when was the first time, right? I go cycling with my family, and this is the best part of the activity. We get to work up a sweat, spend time together, and enjoy the beauty that the great outdoors provides us. It is not easy for us to spend time together with our families these days, and by engaging in cycling, we get to be fit, enjoy time together, and enjoy nature's wonders, right? So these are the benefits that cycling brings you. Okay, then you summarize it again at the end, right? Okay, my favorite leisure activity would be cycling. Okay, how important is it to have a hobby, right? I think it is very important to have a hobby. Okay, why? Studying in the Singapore education system, you explain your answer, is very stressful, right? And we need to have proper outlets to vent our stress and frustrations. By having a hobby, we can do activities that make us happy and in a relatively more healthy manner. Right? I enjoy doing sports. Now you go in to share a little bit more about what you enjoy, right? Whether you enjoy or you don't enjoy. Let's say you don't enjoy doing it, for example. You don't have a hobby. My hobby is to sleep. Honestly, good luck to you, but no. Okay, but no, you can say I enjoy sleeping because I find that I do not have the time to do so, right? And whenever I can, I will because I just love to sleep. Full stop, right? Of course, if you could have a more interesting hobby, that would be ideal. But if you really just like to sleep, you can say that, because it's very stressful, you have to spend a lot of time studying, you spend a lot of time on your schoolwork, right? That's why you relish and treasure it, for example. It is a proper response only if you can give the examiner reasons why you think that it is valid. Okay, now it is important to not only have a healthy mind, but also a healthy body so that we can optimize our potential in whatever we set our minds to do. I think having a hobby is important to have a good balance between stress and fun in life. Okay, students, so that is the last question for our oral. Okay, how we can score for oral, how we can score for oral, basically to read through the passage once more, focus on the words that you have difficulty pronouncing. Remember, I told you this just now, right? When you're reading through a passage, right, okay, focus on the areas that you might need a little bit more time practicing and then rehearse it aloud, right? Nobody's going to hear you, right? Really, who cares who hears you anyway? You want that score. Okay, so just keep practicing to yourself to make sure it's fluent, it's smooth when you read it aloud. Okay, infer from the passage what the topic of the SPC is, right? Okay, sometimes all the time the passage is linked to the picture. So try to guess what the picture is, right? And in that case, try to think about some vocab words that you can use, ideas that you can have. Okay, if you stumble on words or make mistakes when it comes to reading, just move along. Okay, avoid retreating back, avoid repeating unless absolutely necessary. Okay, some things that you need to take note of. Okay, now for your SBC, infer from the passage, right, what the picture may be, right? This will actually help you to prepare for the actual question. And of course, think about various vocab words that you actually may be able to use when you are speaking. Think fast, okay? That's why I always tell my students, you only have basically 3 to 5 seconds to react for your oral. Anything more than that, your teacher will be like, do you even understand me? Right? So you have to think fast. And when you practice for your oral, this actually needs practice because we can always answer a one-word answer to a question. But can we actually develop, for example, an oral response to an examiner's question is a different story. So keep practicing. Okay, students, think of questions and then think about your responses, how you're going to respond to them. Okay, now parental support, right? If your parents are around, if they would like to listen, right? Okay, perhaps, as parents, you can just go through the mistakes and corrections, right? Instead of just focusing on increasing number of practices that your children do, right? Okay, so while it is good to keep practicing, please also take note to help them rectify their corrections. Understanding where they went wrong is also very important, right? Okay, focus on what went wrong rather than the number of practices completed, and try to rehearse with your children, right? What they need to do, steps to take when they see an exam paper, right? Mentally prepare for themselves, mentally prepare them, emotionally prepare them as well, just in case, they face questions that, they're not familiar with, how they can deal with them, when they actually face the actual PSL itself, because it's a very nerve-wracking experience, especially for 12-year-olds. Okay, now for this things to take note of in specifics, okay, for situational writing, just revise with your child, right? Things to take note of: task, purpose, audience, tone, right? How to identify the bullet points. Remember to just draw A, B, C, D, E to the questions directed. Okay, what are the things to focus on? Okay, sometimes, especially at the last minute, right, students may tend to be all over. Okay, how we can avoid that is mainly just by just capturing their attention and drawing them to focusing on, or rather remembering the steps they need to take. Because if there's a process, it's a lot easier for them to remember, right? You do this, then you do this, then you do this, then at least it's like a checklist, right? Okay, sometimes, really when we are anxious, when we're nervous, everything gets thrown out of the window. So if we try to mentally, and emotionally sort of prepare them, I think that would be ideal. Okay, revise with the child what are the steps to take while approaching a composition questions, identifying keywords, think of synonyms, think of experiences, think of material the child has read, right? All these things are like ideas on how they can come up with content. Okay, and of course the things to focus on, as I've gone through just now. Okay, comprehension cloze, right? Remember comprehension cloze, what do they need to do? Read through the entire passage, focus on keywords, right? Try to identify hints throughout the passage, not only within the sentence, but in the paragraph as well as the entire passage itself. Okay, and they should also learn how to move on. They have a question, move on. Don't accumulate the time spent at stuck questions, so to speak, right? Because it will not help them for later sections. Okay, and of course, oral, when you're dealing with stimulus-based conversations, right? Okay, try to predict the topic you're going to deal with from the passage itself, right? Okay, you can infer the questions, because then it'll be more helpful for them when they think about their responses quickly. It's a time game at the end of the day, right? They need to manage their time. Okay, now just a gentle reminder again, okay, about our masterclass. So we have Wednesday for science and Friday for math. Okay, we are now running a promotion for our boot camp. Okay, please remember, right, to use this promotion code, okay, for our promotion to get a special rate that is at 136. Okay, especially if you do not use the POSB card, but just use the POSB card. Okay, a couple of things I want to show you students on the portal, right? Let me just share my screen with you. Okay, for those of you who are already current students, you will be aware of this, but for those of you who are not, right, let me just show you how to go to our portal, right? And then log in. Just give me a couple of seconds. Indra for 88Tuition. Let me log in and show you, okay? Okay, so let me share my screen. 1 second. How do I shut this? Close. Oops. Close. Okay, I want to share my screen with you all. So hang on. Okay, so this is if you are okay. You should be seeing my Chrome screen now, right? Of which I just want to show you. I'm in my primary 6 level, right? Okay, there is the revision package over here, right? That you will be able to, sorry, let me just go in. That you'll be able to see, right? I can go into my different subjects over here. We have math, science, English, Chinese, right? This is the revision package. Okay, and also students, let me just bring your attention to, I'm in my primary 6 dashboard, yeah? Okay, within English itself, right, there's a topic map. I have my mock papers. Students, please remember to try mock papers, right? Okay, because, hang on, because I'll be going through mock paper 1, 2, and 3 for during boot camps 1 and 2. Right, okay, so English is over here. Can you see English mock 1, English mock 2, English mock 3? Right, okay, of course, your paper 1 and paper 2. Okay, just to highlight to you. Okay, and just to show you, right, students, what the answering scheme is like, right? Please remember to type on the blue line, yeah? Hi, testing. Okay, because if you do not type on the blue line, the system is unable to capture your responses. Okay, just let me highlight to you. I'm just going to say hi, testing again, right? Okay, and then we have this over here. Can you see that when I type that, then there is my response that is captured over here. All right, students, and one more thing that I want to highlight to you will be if you need updates, right, on our boot camp, right, it's over here, right? It's under the main page, right? Recent updates, and then you have the PSLE bootcamp over here, which tells you of the different bits of information you need to take note of. Okay, we will run our first bootcamp on the weekend, long weekend before your oral for English, right? Which will start, I think, on 12th of August. So this is over National Day weekend. So please take note of this, right, and sign up to join us during these two boot camps that we'll be going through with you, extra practices and tips. Okay, students, with that, right, any questions, just please, hang on, yeah, just please chat with me. If not, I will stop sharing. Okay, and thank you very, very, very much for joining me today. Okay, in our first masterclass, I'm very happy to have all of you here. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Any questions, feel free to drop me an email. You know my email address, right? You can find it on the website. Okay, if not, Dr. Ali will see you on Wednesday at 3 p.m. and Teacher Byrne will see you on Friday at 3 p.m. as well. Okay, have a lovely evening, students. Take care, stay safe.